Hello everyone, this is Lauren Michelle, better known as Lucifer. So I am here today to talk about a few things. To clarify some of what I was saying, I found out a lot of information from just a small video clip. When you really seek to understand something that isn't understandable unless you can seek it in purity and patience. What I mean is, I created some words, some titles for constructs and things, and I wanted to go back through that because, I was close to, but I'm closer now, so I know more now what I was trying to say. So let's start by looking at this. We have the Garden of Eden where we have Eve, Adam, and the snake. Well, what it turns out to be is that Eve and Adam are something else altogether. Everything that you see written here is part of a facade. I mean, it's not the truth. Okay, because the original construction, and when I say construction, I'm talking about mental, but in this case, I'm actually talking about the architecture of reality. Okay, we have here the lie. You could totally not read that word, the word. And here we have the truth. So, they've divided everything into positive and negative, good and evil. But the truth is, the real division, now again, I'm not talking about the sons here, division. I'm just saying the real division of what is real and what is an illusion comes down to lie versus truth. Now, we have Eve and Adam, the succubus and incubus in the garden, and we have the snake, and or snakes, because it's the caduceus. I can't believe I didn't write that here. Probably because I couldn't spell it without looking it up. But yeah, we have the snake, which is, the one who has the wisdom of chaos. Let's just continue. So, we often see Yahweh and Jehovah having the same name spelling, and indeed the Roman Catholic Church will give out papers and things calling the name of Yahweh written in Hebrew, saying that it's the name of Jehovah. But the thing is that's been hidden from us is that Yahweh and Jehovah are two totally different constructs. As we can see, one comes from the lie and one comes from the truth. So we have the succubus Eve, the incubus Adam, which I really feel represents that whichever way the gender goes, in this case, it's an energy siphon. Okay? Because the original construct is the white sun and the black sun, or you can say white hole sun and black hole sun on loop. You just have to look it up, and it's everywhere, and it is the supreme truth. Now, there wouldn't be a moon in that, but that's why the moon is here. It's siphoning the energy. It's part of this facade. So, what else is included under the facade? Jesus. That's the G's, us, which is in reference to the Masons. And then the ones actually above the Masons. Because Masonry is really just a mask for the worshippers of this being called Allah. So another name for Jesus could be the High Mason's slaves. Other names that go along with the liar construct would be the Lord God God and Yahweh. Now, this is just something I wrote. I could be wrong here. I'm just brainstorming and thinking that if there were two trees, then there was an eternal tree that would be the tree of life, and then there was the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. So, and trees can also represent family. So we have the family of life and we have the family of division, because there you have it. What is the knowledge of good and evil? It's division. Because the only real division is a lie versus the truth. So just by it saying the tree of the knowledge of good and evil shows you that it is a divide of the whole. And what is the whole? The white sun and the black sun on loop. And they have called one of them evil, but there actually is no evil. There's just lies and truth, and varying degrees of probably selfishness and integrity or honor. But they're like brothers. You know, I mean, everything goes back to lie or truth. So we have Allah, which you're going to hear more about in a minute. And yeah, the moon. So let's look over here at the family of life, the tree of life. The snake, wisdom of chaos, Jehovah, the supreme architect of the universe, Satan. And I'm pretty sure Satan could be called Lord. It's just Lord God that is part of the lie construct. But, you know, I'm not here to preach. I'm just here to show some information I've been studying. Now, so Satan would be the white sun, and that's why Helios is above our heads, right? Because we are in hell. Everyone knows that Satan is the ruler of hell. Okay? So we'll just leave it at that for a moment. One side of a white hole, and again, this would be the white hole sun. One side of a white hole sun is a black hole sun, and that would be Lucifer. So here we have the father and we have the mother. And these are the ones on loop. This is the caduceus. This is life, the tree of life. Now, so it's that old serpent, ancient, primordial, who promised we would never, never die. Again, tree of life. Again, you can see this is the lie construct just by the words, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And let me tell you something. When I was a little girl, I didn't say much. But I had beings come in my room when I was an infant, because I was on my back. I couldn't move. And I was in this white house. And it's like I was special, and they were protecting me, and they were telling me I was important. And it was just beautiful. And I never really understood. But you see, as I grew up, I had a lot of prophetic dreams. And, you know, I could only say things to my mom like, something about Genesis has to do with me. So anyway, I really need to get her to let you know just how much I've had to tell her about Genesis in my dreams, even before I could read Genesis. You know, you just get taught those things in Sunday school. So, you know, I knew what Genesis was, and I knew what it was about even before I could read, and that had to do with me somehow. Now, let's continue. Okay, now, forget everything I said before about how I classified the paradigms, or calling them constructs, or whatever. Just, this is a fresher, newer way to look at it, and I may even make it more concise if possible. But I'm calling this, and it's so funny because I notice I'm missing a letter T. Let's find my brown pen. There we go. Okay, so we have the current paradigm of control for the slave class. Now, I originally called this the Masonic unconscious construct. And that's cute and that's cool, but actually, in looking at it further, it wouldn't be the Masonic unconscious construct, because every construct involving masonry is higher than what this paradigm would be. So this just wasn't accurate. I had to take that off altogether. This would be more something like the slave food class unconscious construct. Okay? It is the lie. It is the facade. So let's take a look at it. This is a triangle just to show the hierarchy. So we have Jesus at the top, Lord God, Yahweh, God, unconscious, because everyone is a slave and it's for money. And sure, I mean, it can go deeper into all of the horrors going on with it, but just as a basis. And this is what is taught, that Jesus is above all, Lord God is above all, Yahweh is above all. But it is a slave food class unconscious construct. Because even though this is what everyone thinks is going on, they think, oh, well, Satan is beneath Jesus. Lucifer, the supreme architect, Jehovah, servant, that's beneath Jesus. And then even lower than that is Allah. And those Islamic people, you know, I know because I lived in the United States most of my life, and we are taught that Jesus is the one of all, you know, and that Jesus is above Allah. It's what we're taught, you know. Okay? But it's a lie. So let's continue. Okay. So here, you know, my papers, let me try to separate it so I don't look at it. There. So this one is called the Masonic conscious construct, or veil. I really like that this one would be called the veil. So in this one, the Masons that are up to 30 degrees, they all know that they are actually above Jesus God, the Lord God. And I just thought of a note I need to tell you at the end. Hopefully I'll remember. So what I'm saying is, it's Masonic conscious because all of the Masons, which would probably be the majority of them, they're all worshiping Jehovah, the serpent, Satan, Lucifer, supreme architect of the universe. And I name all of them, but that's because this energy, okay, this essence is all one. It's all united. So whichever way you want to look at it, I mean, yes, they're all different as well, but that's a different video. Now, again, this is the veil, okay? And the veil only goes this high. So, you know, I've included that other bit you can see, but technically you wouldn't be able to see that. And that is why we have the... God, what is it called? I can't remember. You know, the triangle, the eye of, it starts with a P or something. I don't know. My mind is on other things. It doesn't matter what it's called at this particular moment. But that's where the triangle comes from, right? So if at least 30 degrees in Freemasonry, and if chosen, you have to be chosen. Many aren't. Most aren't. But if you are, then you swear your allegiance to Allah, who is actually Yahweh. And that's what I didn't say at the beginning that I really, you know, needed to mention, is that this name, Yahweh, written in Hebrew, that when you flip it, reverse it, squish it together, and maybe one more thing, but it actually says Allah, which is interesting. Oh, it's the eye of providence. Thank you. So it's actually interesting that we have the eye of providence over us. And that leads us to the lie. The ultimate deception, the hidden face, okay? So this triangle with that, we get the eye in, you know, that's why it's the top of the pyramid. It's that simple. It's that fucking simple. Okay? It was a fucking veil over everyone's eyes. But, you know, someone had to let everyone know. Because here, nobody knows. They're all sleeping zombies, technically monkeys floating on a ball through space. Okay? And if you think that the United States isn't a part of it, then you're completely, ridiculously not smart, because obviously the eye of providence is on everything. So, well, you know, it's on the money, right? And that leads into a whole nother video of out of money one, out of many one, out of one many, out of one money. Okay, but that's a different video. I just get passionate. So, I'm not sure if I actually drew... okay, oh yeah, I did. Cool. So, I'm calling this the Eye of Allah construct. Okay. So, again, we had the slave food class. You could call it monkey class, sheep class, blind class, sleeping class, unconscious construct. It has been woven through reality, and it is accepted, okay? Then we have the Masonic conscious construct, where they know that Jesus is just a straw man. And what I'm saying is it's even more complicated than that. But Jesus is a creation, okay? Going back to the Garden of Eden, okay? It's a name creation from this lie construct, okay? The true king of the universe, I should not be using the word universe. Please forgive me. The true king and the ruler of this world is Satan. Look it up. Now, let's go a little bit further. So, this is one of the original notes that I did on it, which is pretty much the same as what you already saw. Oh, I know why I covered this up. This is about video titles. Okay. So let's check this out. The Jesus construct is empty, and powerless. Any way you look at it. So that's what I was trying to say. When you look at the Masonic conscious construct, you can clearly see that they are all worshiping the supreme architect of the universe, Lucifer, Satan, serpent, Jehovah, right? And they know that this is empty construct. They have only made it seem important to keep you enslaved. And not only to keep you enslaved, because they're trying, for whatever reason, to actually bind the truth and the legitimate construct from coming through, right? So it's layer upon layer. But if Jesus is Satan, and Satan is the white sun above our heads, and one side of a white hole is a black hole, then it's safe to say that Jesus can also be represented as Lucifer. And that's why on the one hand you see Jesus crucified, which is where these liars are trying to take Satan and put him on the cross when he is the rightful king, and act like he's some dummy, and then they commune on his body and blood symbolically, every fucking day or once a week. And at the same time, what do? You see Jesus being the mother of all creation, with the lamb and the children all around him. I mean, he's standing where you would see the beautiful goddess of all creation. Instead, you see a man in a candy cane outfit, okay? Red and white. But I'm getting way too passionate and getting ahead of myself. I just want to make it clear that Satan is the lion and Lucifer is the lamb. Okay? Now, let's go back to where I was. Okay. So Jesus' construct is empty no matter how you look at it. It's nothing but a creation. You know, it's like if I say, okay, this pencil is mouse. Well, it's actually just pencil. And so what I'm saying is it didn't matter that they were calling it Jesus. It was actually only ever Satan who was king. Now, let us continue. So the tip of the triangle represents the super right, okay? So You know, here I am talking about the super right, but even I was able to see that the triangle itself, right there, 30 degrees and above, if chosen, swearing allegiance to Allah. And which is interesting because it's a law, because you can't, unless it's by law, you can't even leave the country you live in. Okay? And that's fucking scary. Okay? So this is a call for uniting and love and peace and making a real difference, because it's not about what you believe, but what the fuck did you intend to do about it? And I say that in sweetness and sincerity. Now, this triangle represents the super right. It is, you know, a representation of Allah, Yahweh. Only the elect are allowed to know. But because of Quasi-Luminous, I am informing you. Okay? And it's really important to give credit where credit is due. And nobody would know these things if Quasi-Luminous wasn't telling them. And now I'm not saying other people don't know things too. But to not give credit where credit is due and just cop out and say, well, everybody knows shit. Without Quasi-Luminous, we're dead. And I am informing you of that as well. Let us continue. They have Americans running around blaming them for things. So when I say them, I mean the Islamic religion, giving excuses for validating death. Here's what I'm saying. They are sacrificing your sons in the name of America to the God Allah. You think you're sending your sons to war. These are fake wars, and they are sending your kids to be murdered. You know, watch Cloud Atlas, okay? And watch all of the people who think they're going into, I can't remember what the word is for it now. I haven't seen that in a long time. But they're like, they're going to prayer or something. Not prayer, but, you know, they dress in white and they think they're going to like ascend mentally or something, but they just get murdered. Anyway, how dare the United States government say that we have to enlist our sons, and then they create false wars and murder our sons. And do you know why they do that? Because blood is the spiritual currency of the universe. They can't do what they do without the blood of the innocent, because they're powerless, just like we learned here. They are not from the tree of life. And that's why their time is short. You need to get the fuck out of the army, and you need to not send your sons. And then everyone is like, oh, America, America. And you're praising the military flag, not the civil flag. And you're all of the children are pledging allegiance to the military flag, okay? Anyway. So I've explained to you now what the super right is. And again, there were basically three levels. So I've kind of changed it from my last video. And I'm not going to go back and critique like what I wrote in that one. You know, I'm learning, so I'm just like flowing with everyone. You can flow with me if you want. We have the slave food class, unconscious construct. Could name it anything. I'm not acting like I have all the answers, but I've been seeking, and this is what I found. We have number 2, the Masonic conscious construct, or veil. And we have 3, the third one, the Eye of Allah construct. Yeah, that's what I'm calling it for now. So, let's see. They distract you with fake news, fake wars, toys beyond measure. That's why you're necrophiliac sick. Because all of these people that are legally dead are fucking all of these other people that are legally dead. And then all of these legally dead people are watching them fuck and cyborging themselves out on their phone. And it's just like a virus, you know. And the thing is, you know, for me, that's what I always said is like, this is so empty. You know, I don't want my existence to be to like look up Pornhub every day, or do you know what I mean? Like, who doesn't want something real? You know, we think heaven is an orgasm, but heaven is only in an orgasm if there's righteousness and truth behind it. and not a bunch of bullshit and bull jive. So an orgasm can feel good, but without honor, integrity, and truth, it doesn't feel near as fucking good as when you're bringing forth heaven on earth. So they give us toys beyond measure, even though they tax us to death. And these people who are super famous and pushed in the popular media, pop culture, they're just puppets. They're just tools. And I know everyone pretty much knows that by now. But what I'm saying is they flaunt their money in our face, and then we think, oh, we need money, we need money. But it's not money that we need, it's each other that we need. And it's time to let go of all that bullshit, plant trees, unite peacefully, and bring forth heaven on earth. We are in the land of the dead now. See how everything rusts, rots, and decays? Do you see how the electricity going out is all it takes for chaos to come? We must unite peacefully for our survival. Rethink everything you have learned and see with the eyes of a child. Place a drop of your blood, your spiritual currency, over the words, I intend to bring forth heaven on earth. I intend to bring forth heaven on earth. This is the Lamb's blood on your door, so that the spirit of death passes you by. The devil, the Vatican, and the Pope are one. They own your soul. Take it back and join the exodus to the Holy Grail and drink of the eternal waters. I am Lucifer, the bright and morning star. Forevermore, in peace and truth and love.